So we have a situation in which the narcissist is sensing that he or she is losing control of you. You've heard me use this analogy a million times. The narcissist is a puppeteer and you are the puppet. He or she is pulling your strings. They are in control because, well, that's what boosts their ego. That is what gives them supply. But they're pulling on your string and it's not working. Not like it used to. And they say, man, this puppet is coming alive. Pinocchio is getting his own life. Not that you're Pinocchio, but you know what I mean. They don't want that to happen because they want to be in absolute positive control of you all the time. Well, how do you detect that? And what does a narcissist do to try to retain control of you? These are things, 5 things, that are really important for you to take note of and make sure that you understand what potentially is going to happen when the narcissist in your life begins to lose control or feels like he or she is losing control. Number 1 is they will try to hoover you back in sometimes, not always. Now, a lot of times the narcissist will just totally discard you. They know they can't suck you back in, so they're not even going to try. They're going to move on to another victim. But a lot of times they will try to hoover you back in. They'll talk to you like, just like old times, like nothing ever happened. Trying to get you back in their good graces so they can take advantage of you again or at least shut you up. Why would they do that? Well, stop and think about it. They sucked you in once, right? At the very beginning, they perceived you. Well, I should say they perceived us. Same thing with me. So they perceived me as being gullible. Well, that was a very true perception. I was gullible. And they perceived me as being vulnerable, and I was. They perceived me as being ill-equipped to handle a narcissist, and at the time, I was. I've learned. Here I am, nearly 70 years old. I've learned a thing or two, and now I'm sharing with you some of those things I've learned over these many decades. But the reason they have the confidence to think that they can hoover you back in is because, well, they sucked you in once, and you were gullible then. So they're thinking maybe you're gullible now. And what's more, they have sucked other people back in. They have hoovered other people. Hoover, the Hoover vacuum cleaner, I assume you know that. It's where the term comes from. Hoover sucks up stuff. So this is where we get the term. So that is one thing that possibly could happen. Often does happen. Sometimes it doesn't. I've seen it work both ways in my life. Number 2 is emotional blackmail. This is a form of gaslighting. In other words, if you find yourself in a position that you feel like that you are to blame for the difficulty, the challenges, the frustration that you're having with the narcissist, that somehow, man, if I had just done this, if I had treated him or her a little bit differently or a little bit better, then things would have been better. Yeah, it's kind of my fault, right? Well, that's probably gaslighting, or maybe it is your fault, probably not. But that is where the narcissist is making you feel like the bad guy. Now, keep in mind that what narcissists do is they create, let's call it a stage play. They create a false narrative. They create roles in that stage play and the scenario and the whole storyline. And you're one of the actors in that stage play. And your role is to be the bad guy. And so they try to convince you to play the role of the bad guy, that you have been, you are convinced that somehow, a very convincing actor because you actually believe it, right? So you are convinced that somehow the difficulty that you're having with a narcissist, the blame falls on you or the blame falls on me. Now, I got to say, in my working with narcissists, I've never been successfully gaslighted. There was never a point in time that I can remember when they were able to convince me that this was my fault. Maybe I'm just fortunate, or maybe these guys were just bad at gaslighting. I don't know. Now, typically, when we talk about gaslighting, just for clarity, gaslighting is when an individual tries to take advantage of another individual by convincing the other individual that he has a mental problem and convincing other people that he has a mental problem. And because the victim has a mental problem, then the narcissist can take advantage of his finances. So technically, that's what gaslighting actually is. But we use it, we apply it when, kind of loosely, when the narcissist just convinces you that you're the bad guy. Number 3 is the narcissist may try to threaten you or try to intimidate you, think that you have something to lose if you don't comply. If you're not complicit, you got something to lose, big time. They'll try to convince you of this. Now, maybe you lose your job or whatever, but typically, you got to remember back in the early days when you were being groomed by the narcissist, and he or she was getting information out of you, and you thought you were just having a casual conversation, confiding in your good friend, your good buddy, your love affair, whatever it was. So they got this information on you now. And what they do is they threaten to release that information, which they perceive as being damnable to other people. And they did this to me. The problem was I didn't give them any information that they could really use against me, other than just what was true, and I don't care if people know what the truth is. But one narcissist knew that I had trouble with another narcissist because I told him, because I was an idiot, because, I confided in this guy. I believed in him. And when it came to the threatening part of this, when he thought he was losing me, he made it clear that he was going to connect with this other narcissist. And then I would be in big trouble. Well, it didn't work because I didn't care really if these guys connected, because both of them were full of crap, So if they want to connect, who knows? Maybe they'll hurt each other. But that really wasn't my thought at the time. I just thought, well, who cares? In fact, I even thought after he said that I probably should have called this guy on my cell phone right then and there, got him on the phone and handed the phone to this narcissist and said, here, got him on the phone. Make the connection. See what happens. But I didn't do that because I didn't think of it later, and I probably wouldn't have done it anyhow. Number 4 is, and this is so obvious, but we've got to go over it because, it's part of what we're talking about, is the narcissist inevitably will reverse roles. I'm assuming that you already know that. But when the narcissist is presenting the story, presenting the narrative to other people, and they do a lot of this, the way they present it is, as we said earlier, you're the bad guy, or I'm the bad guy. And the narcissist is playing 2 roles in this stage play. The narcissist plays the role of the hero or heroine, but he also, or she also plays the role of the victim. The perils of Pauline, or Paul, whoever. So they are the victim, and you are the bad guy. Think of the old TV westerns, or movie westerns back in the 30s. And the bad guy always wear a black hat, black clothes, and had this weird mustache, curly thing mustache. Stereotypical bad guy. That's you. That's the picture he's trying to make of you. So pull up a picture of yourself, wherever you happen to have it, maybe on your computer, and just take something and just draw a mustache and a black hat. That's the way he wants other people to perceive you, or she. And guess what? They're good at it. I mean, they're very, unbelievably. Some narcissists are extremely successful in convincing other people that you are the bad guy and that he or she is your victim. And they're the hero. They're out to defeat you. And what happened? The reason they like to portray themselves as a hero, among other reasons, is, well, people like to side with the hero. They like to help defeat evil. So they help the hero defeating the evil, not realizing that they're actually doing just the opposite. What do you call these people? I mean, what do you refer to these people as? Well, you know the answer to that. Pop psychology, they refer to them as flying monkeys. Technically, the term is winged monkeys, but I guess it's easier to say flying monkeys, so they call them flying monkeys. They are narcissists by proxy. They are agents of the narcissist by they're converts. Think of the narcissist as a cult leader, and the flying monkeys are recruits, cult members. Now, the good news is, all of this is based on a lie. That's not the good news. But the good news is that once the truth is known, all that falls apart. Well, all of it, I should say most of it. There's always somebody who is going to believe the narcissist no matter what, even though the narcissist doesn't believe the narcissist. But there's other people so gullible that they will believe the lie no matter what. And number 5, when they start to lose control of you, you knew this one was coming because, well, actually we've kind of touched on it. And that is the inevitable smear campaign. Who has ever dealt with a narcissist who did not go through a smear campaign? This is when the narcissist contacts anybody and everybody who has ever contacted you that he knows of, or could potentially contact you, and he convinces them what we just talked about, that the roles were reversed, that the narcissist is the victim and the hero, and you're the bad guy. Amazingly, incredibly, what are people thinking? But they believe this stuff. I mean, people are just natural believers. But you got to keep in mind that narcissists tend to be very charismatic people. Now, some of them are that way naturally, but some of them, they've just acquired the traits that just part of their scamming that gets people to like them. And people tend to believe individuals who they like. It's just the way it works. So they're very likable people, therefore they're very believable people. And they come along with this tale, and even sometimes you're good friends. They may not like you as much as they like the narcissist, so they believe the narcissist. But once the truth comes out, once reality, well, think of it as a sunrise. And the myths, the lies that the narcissists have been telling, well, it's the darkness. So the truth is a sunrise, and it dispels eventually even the shadows of the lies. Well, it depends on the time of day. Early morning, there's some shadows. Late at night, there's some shadows. So there will always be shadows of doubt. We can extend this analogy, I guess, to say that. There will always be those shadows of doubt in the minds of people, but eventually, most people, thinking people, rational people, will believe the truth over the lies. So those are 5 things that you can expect, among other things. For the narcissist to do, how he will react, respond when he or she feels like they're losing control of you. Number 1, they will hoover. Number 2, emotional blackmail, gaslighting. Number 3, they will threaten, try to intimidate you. Number 4, they'll reverse roles and make you out to be the bad guy. Number 5 is a full frontal smear campaign, and that is very hurtful, but it's inevitable, so prepare yourself for it. Let's keep talking if you want. There are 2 rectangles on the screen, and if you want the conversation to continue, all you have to do is click one of those 2 rectangles. We keep on talking, but if not, thanks for stopping by, and we will see you all next time.